Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Scrotitis Plays Feed the Beast. How you guys doing? It's been a little while since I've been on the server, and I got a bit of sad news. Unfortunately, this server is going to be no more. The server is sort of died right now. You can see I'm the only guy on. There's not a lot of interest, and so it's going to get taken down for a little bit. That's the bad news. The good news is that I will be able to get a copy of this map if I want to continue playing in a single-player world. You know, just keeping the map and playing locally by myself. What I'm kind of looking at for the series and some help from you guys is what you think would be the best options for the series to take. And I'm basically looking at two options. One would be, since I am going to be able to retain the map, I'm thinking about possibly just, like I said, turning this from a server game, which I haven't really had many server interactions during the gameplay anyway, and doing a single player, or I could, and I think I'm leaning towards this, starting a new world, sort of from scratch, but not abandoning what we were working towards in this one. And what I mean by that was previously we went to the Twilight Forest, and I want to do a lot more with that area. I think it's tons of fun, and my idea for Thaumcraft in that atmosphere, I think, would work out well. So either way, whether we continue with this map and this base and all of our resources, or if we start from scratch, that's sort of what I want to work towards, is the Twilight Forest and doing some really cool Thaumcraft stuff there if we can. But that's not what we're covering today. Today's episode is going to be a world tour episode. See these on servers all the time, and I figured that it would be a good idea to do one here, probably because, or this may be the last time that we play this map, okay? So I think the best place to start our tour would be in this room right here. This is the very first room that we had built. It's changed a little bit, but this is our furnace room. Prior to the expansion here that I didn't get to quite complete, this was a closed wall. We had all of our storage on that wall, and we had our furnaces, and these all ran off of the solar panels we have outside. It's Bluetricity, which I am still a huge fan of. That technology, the ease of making it, and how efficient it is, I just love it. So look forward to more of that, certainly, in series to come. And you see, we got stuff. I don't know if we have anything in these. We have been using the furnaces, though. And then over here, we've got my second favorite mod pack in the Ultimate pack, which is the thermal expansion machines. We have a pulverizer. We got our powered furnace, and this is called an induction smelter. You put two things in, and one thing comes out. These are all powered off of those same actual solar panels. We just have them converted through these blue electric engines running down here and powered that way. So this was the original room. This is the foundation, the building blocks of our world. Let's see. Next, we went this way, and I believe we went up. This is a little bit of bibliocraft stuff that we messed around with, but nothing too crazy. All right, so then the base then, we had this cool idea. We actually were thinking about doing an elevator on this side. I scared away from that and decided to do a spiral staircase. Kind of boring, I know. Next time, we'll definitely do an elevator if we have the same sort of design. The next thing that I didn't have a quarry right away, and so there's actually a pond here, and I had this little sneaky entrance. I don't know if we can see. Yeah, there's the pond still. I just dirt over it to hide from the surface. But this was the next thing we did. We had this waterway down, and we did branch mining. And this is how we got all of our resources. This level is actually still ripe for some copper mining. But we did this for our resources. We did this all the way down to diamond level, and we were fairly successful, actually. I want to expand on this idea a little bit more in our next series as well. Thinking about doing some cool things with some turtles, but that's what we did there. Is just a simple mine shaft that we did branch mining off of. That was really early in the series as well, and some cool turtle programs that we covered earlier in the series as well. All right, so that was not next. Over here, actually, we have our thermopile system that we moved. I don't think I covered it in this base. One of the issues we had with the server early on, we had a map reset, and I covered in my original base and map layout my thermopile setup. This is basically the same setup. All right, so we had some stairs that went down. We covered what we did so far down there. There's still more to get to, but not quite yet. Next, if we go up to the next, no, we got to go up to the 3rd floor. I built what I thought was a pretty cool machine here. This is our chicken arrow making machine. Okay, so we got chickens here, and they hatch eggs. Our dispenser's full, or deployer's full of eggs. You flip it on, it shoots the eggs at the wall. You get your little hens here, or your chickens. You wait till they grow up, and then they come into this area where you flip this lever. You smash them, they die. You unflip it, and then that transposer sucks up the feathers and the raw chicken, goes into the sorting machine, which then sends to the corresponding barrel. From here, we have our production line where we pull out our wood to refine down into planks, then into sticks, then into arrows in this last one, which we receive the feathers from up here with this lever, as well as flint from this gravel comes down through a pulverizer, produces flint, and comes up to this front one. All funnels into this last chest, which I used for other projects down the line. While we're up here, let's cover everything else that we did. We did an assembly table. That's right, over here. This thing's really cool. Is a necessity for these guys, and these guys are a necessity for gates, which I think are probably one of the coolest things, because with gates, that allows us to eliminate a lot of work with redstone engines.
That's the hardball. It's not good.
Okay, so... Oh, how did we power the assembly table? Well, we have this redstone conduit running out from over here. It gets powered from these electrical engines that get their power from this high voltage cabling that runs over to this MFE. Now we have a whole tower of MFEs all the way down from our power supply in the basement, and I guess we'll go ahead and show you that now. This floor we just have we have a blast furnace and an industrial blast furnace, and I don't recall what this machine's industrial electrolyzer. All cool machines, all very expensive to make. But I don't think I covered actually making them in any episodes, because it's all sort of straightforward stuff you can find on the wiki, and it's pretty boring to go over in an episode. So let's head down here. This was what I thought was one of my cooler builds. This is my blaze farm / power supply. Okay, so we've got a tier 5 blaze spawner in here. Let me show you real quick. Tier 5 blaze spawner up there. Okay. And we have a switch up above, and actually this little cubby hole is to get rid of any of the blazes that get stuck on top of that, and that does happen sometimes after I turn the system off, because blazes make probably one of the most annoying noises that there is throughout the entire Minecraft game, and if it gets stuck there and I'm in my base doing stuff, I can't deal with it, so I got to get rid of them. So anyway, that switch turns on the spawner. They come down here, and we've got our melee turtle, which takes them out. Then their blaze rods go into this pipe, and XP goes into our 2 jars, which I may have just taken the last bit out of those jars. The next thing then, I actually don't think I got to cover the revised version, but this is our power plant. And we have blaze rods that flow into all of these furnaces. And when those furnaces are full, the excess flows into these barrels. Now, the one adjustment that I made was to allow these barrels to feed back into the furnaces. See, you just flip those on, and you should be able to see. There we go. The blaze rod's coming out. Turn that off. But they make their way down into the first available furnace. That way, if we have a surplus of the blaze rods, we can still generate power without having to turn that on. Okay, next we have a little enchanting room that we did some cool stuff with bibliotech bookshelves. And it's just a quick look around. It's a pretty standard looking enchanting room, but I like this little. I don't know exactly what this is called. This design, vaulted ceiling, something like that. But I like the way that whole room turned out look-wise and everything. Good structure stuff there. So there's the stairway to nowhere. Let's head back up this way. And I think we should cover our bee stuff next. All right, so out back we have our bee house, and I will make my way back over to these, don't worry. This was something that consumed a lot of my time, and this was actually the third build that we did. If you look at it from above, before we get too involved here, it's a hexagon shape, which I tried to replicate from beehives have. They're usually made of multiple hexagons, so that's where I got that idea from. All right, so we've got each of these guys, and they are just plugging away our apiaries. Creating bees, and what I was going to do, since I didn't have a quarry built yet, I was going to supplement that by rust bees for iron. Well, we got tarnished bees over here, I think. Yeah, tarnished bees for... Oh, wow, it's been so long since I did that. I don't remember what tarnished bees are for. Bauxite for aluminum, and I'll explain that in a second. Imperial bees for our royal jelly. Corroded for our copper. And what is the tarnished for? Let's cheat and take a look. Tarnished bees for our tin. That's it. All right, so we had this cool little automated processing set up where everything just came from underneath here up this pipe. Okay. From that pipe, it came into a relay, which then passes through into our two centrifuges, which break down the items. When it gets it, it sends a pulse, and everything comes up through into this chest. We get all of our goodies up here. All of our beeswax, our honey drops, our honeydew, our bee analyzers there. We're getting lots of royal jelly. It's been a while since I've been here to check it out. And then the excess stuff, the stuff that we need to make the metals, gets sorted through these. And they come through our automatic crafting tables, which take 4 tiny piles of whatever and turn it into a big pile. And then comes over into here, where then I can just take these out and make my iron ingots out of it. That was the whole idea. I was going to expand this at one point over in that direction where I have this pipe go further and we have a smelting facility. I thought that would be kind of cool as well, but we didn't get there. We still can. Again, not totally scrapping this world yet. So just want to make that clear. Here's our power source for our 2 centrifuges up there. They're running off of a box water mill system that I covered during an episode. This was actually a fun one to do as well. There's our water mills all set up. It's kind of a neat look. I love water mills. They made them more difficult. Thank you, Greg Tech. I was going to say Gary's Mod. Thank you, Greg Tech, for making water mills harder to make than what they used to be. But still, one of my favorite power sources. You just set them and forget them. I guess they're like solar panels, but for some reason they feel less cheaty to me because you actually have to put them in something, whereas solar panels you just set out and you get stuff out of the sun. But anyway, all right, so that's our bee labs, sort of an unfinished project. that we didn't get back to, but still was fun. Okay. Next thing were our multi-farms, and this I covered in an episode, how to do multi-farms. This one was set up for trees and carrots that I didn't really use much because it took tons of power. And if you watched the series, you knew that I was still struggling until recently to have an efficient power system, which we're going to cover here real quick. But down here, this was our multi-farm, and we had an auto out system. Here's all of our goodies. This then pulled out, what did it pull out? Yeah, the sand, so that we can make fertilizer to feed back up into this eventually. For the time being, though, it's just like that. Oh, this appetite's supposed to feed down into here as well, into this center portion. And then I was going to have another thing out, but I still haven't figured out where you put an input hatch for these multi-farms. Here we have our aqua accumulator, which feeds water to both farms. This one I started building and never got to finish it. I was going to do reeds because I was going to make an automated book farm from our leather over here. And why delay any longer? My pride and joy, cow power. Let's cover it, guys. So this is the master plan. It took me quite a while to get to this point, and I think we were finally at a good spot. But we have milk. I wanted to power my base off of milk. I didn't do enough research to find out that biogas engines, yes, could create energy, MJs, from milk, but required an almost infinite source of lava. This caused me headaches, because at first I didn't have this lava source. And so I would just feed it in. I'd put the little bit of lava that was required to start the engines, which I don't have any in there right now. They would run for a while, and then I would stop getting power, and I would wonder why. I'd come look, and we'd have milk, tons of milk, but no lava. Did more research and found out that, yes, biogas, or biomass, I'm sorry, allows biogas engines to run with a very limited amount of lava, but milk, while it is very energy efficient in these types of engines, does require a constant supply, in fact, of lava. So our woes began here. The milk source, let's cover this. We did this. This is our reconstruction of the original layout, but we've got a cow spawner in here. The cows drop into water, flow down this way. There's a conveyor belt that pushes them. There we go. On top of these two pistons. This is the first station. This is the milking station, okay? And let me show you real quick the control panel that I have. We've got one to turn on our spawner. We've got one to milk. So that's the first two stations. That then, through this process of tubes, relays, pipes, what have you, if you want to see more detail, check out the cow power episodes. We milk the cows, okay? From that point, we have a dropper, which basically just opens the pistons the cows were standing on, and a barbecuer, which turns these two on. And let's see if it still works. Barbecue. Okay, but our cow has snuck past the barbecuers. So, and then that would in turn cook the cows as they fought the path here. They would end up here, which then their delicious steaks and leather would be sucked up by this obsidian pipe, expanded on by the redstone engine, and they would be stored in these two barrels. So that's the cow power stuff. There's all sorts of wiring back here. I did bundled cables. There's stuff going on underneath here. Pretty cool stuff. But like I said, I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want this to be a super long episode. Just a quick little world tour. And if you want to see how all that stuff works, check out, like I said before, the cow power episodes. All right, so, excuse me. Biogas engines need lava. What's the best way of producing lava? Well, the best way of producing is just stealing it from the nether, but that tends to lag servers, so that was not an option since we were on a pretty heavily populated and busy server. So what did I decide to do? I decided to bring back the other thing from the nether, which is nether rack. This stuff can produce lava through a... Oh. Go in there. Why isn't it going in there? Go in there. Go in there. And go in there. Okay. So, like I was saying, netherrack goes into magma crucible, which then produces lava. Lava comes out of magma crucible, goes into magmatic engines, which need lava to run, which then in turn go back and power magma crucible. Now you may be saying you're not doing anything, but there is an excess. If you use 8 magmatic engines, which is the most power energy sufficient, the excess from the magma crucible can then be stored. And that's exactly what I've done, and I've come up with an excess of 257,106 units, I think is all that's called. Which I then set up a secondary, and there's an input, and then I have an output that will then feed into these. If you want to check that out, we just have a redstone signal next to it. Lava goes out. Don't want to waste too much lava, and it fills up our biogas engines with lava. If you remember, that was empty. And these are apparently still turned on. So let's turn those off real quick. There we go. And those are our power switches to run our 2 columns. Our goal was going to be to fill these sides with biogas engines and run our base off of cow power. Didn't get there, but that was the goal. Okay, so this was one source of lava. I think now would be a good time to sneak into the nether. All right, so down in the basement here, as you guys I'm sure saw earlier, we have a nether portal. And this was set up for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to deal with these nasty... Oh. These nasty sons of guns right here. This also, I believe I covered in half of an episode. It wasn't a full episode, but these are our nether bees. These guys are vicious. I'm wondering if there's a little bit of lag here. 'Cause it's not... Oh. Yeah, there's definitely a bit of lag, I would say. Usually there's the bees flying up here and so on. There we are. There they are. Okay, we almost died. That was bad. Yeah. So yeah, the server's a little laggy, but it worked out for our purposes. Anyway, nether bees, they produce... We have them in an infinite setup here. And I was going to get... Oh, I must have already taken out everything. As you can see, there's not really anything else that I did over here. I made this little setup here. I was going to build a little bit more in this area. I had cleared out a lot of space over here, but didn't get to building much of anything. That's what I had started. I thought it looked pretty cool so far, but I really need to focus on extending the materials that I use. It's something I definitely want to work on in the future, but this was for our nether bees. And we actually produced these with the modest bees found in the desert. So that was kind of a fun project that we did. And then this was going to be a setup. I was actually going to do this pretty soon in the series. Didn't get to it, though. A lot of things. It's sort of a continuing theme, isn't it? This is something I was going to do, but I didn't get to it. I feel like that... Oh. Deja vu. I feel like that's something that happens in a lot of Let's Play series that I watch. Guys start some projects, and then they get inspired and want to go do something else, and so they start another project, and another inspiration hits them, and then all of a sudden the project 2 projects ago just gets totally forgotten. But in this chest, if it ever decides to open, is what we got from the nether bees, and it doesn't look like it's going to open. So anyway, I was going to have a little quick processing station out back, but we don't really need to cover it since it wasn't built. And it was just going to feed into... Whoa. How the heck did we end up here? It was just going to feed into that tank. So anyway, lastly... Oh, here it is. phosphor. That's what we were going to use. And those, okay. Now the lag is just messing with me. Lastly, one of the more recent things that we did is we started a quarry in Mistcraft, and we set up this storage room to house everything that we were getting out of it. Pretty cool stuff. Let me show you real quick how that works, and then we'll come back and show you this. And we're going to be wrapping up the episode, guys. So, into the age of Mistcraft. So here we are. This is set up on the server. Pretty cool. Everybody's got a book that goes to their base. We need it to load up. People must have explored a lot more because I don't remember this being as laggy as it is. Looks like we've got some... we got a lot of quarries that have been dug out, and that tends to lag things because of the exposed ores, the Zycraft blocks. I've noticed Zycraft tends to create a lot of lag, but that's neither here nor there. Now here's my processing plant. I picked this towering block of natural towering block of obsidian as my waypoint to find my quarries. This was the first one that we ran, whatever. This is the first one that we had down to bedrock, clean, dry. Here's the second one. I decided to go bigger, go home. And we didn't actually get this one down to diamond level yet. Excuse my voice crack. Wow, what was that? So this one didn't get down to diamond level yet, but let's show you how it was set up. Again, this was a cool episode, Mistcraft quarry processing. We have this string of blue power solar panels running into bat boxes, running into bluetricity engines. Those were powered. Those turned on, powered the quarry, and actually powered it really quickly, but then also powered the machines that we have up here. We had all of our items coming up. We had diamond sorting pipes sending dirt that way. We got pulverizers, which were accepting all the ores that could be pulverized. We have a powered furnace accepting the ores that could not be pulverized. We have a recycler accepting all the garbage that we don't want. And that would produce scrap, which was sent into this, which would produce scrap boxes. All these pipes then connect and output over here. These solar panels are only for our recycler because recyclers can't run off of MJs, and I didn't want to bother with converting MJs into EUs. I thought this would just be easier. And like I said, that all then went into this box here, which shouldn't have stuff in it, but will help us show the next part of our episode, which is the new storage and sorting facility that we started building that, again, never got finished. Like I said, it's a theme, guys. Roll with it. So let's get back here to the little book setup, the little teleport area, Agecraft books. I don't know what you call this thing, but here we are. We're back at our base, and once it loads up, we will go over our storage area. All right, so day and a night passed, and the world finally loaded. No, I'm just kidding. The sun was setting when I got here. So this is the sorting facility. Here's our ender chest that everything comes to. We flip a switch. This should be ticking and allowing our filter to pull items out. Always use a filter, not a transposer, for these types of things. One of the guys on the server helped me out with that. Filters allow you to pull out entire stacks of things, whereas transposers pull out one item at a time, and it's an incredible pain. We have a dispenser set up here with a redstone repeater in it for some reason. I don't know why that's in there, but that was for our scrap boxes. We actually had quite a collection of scrap boxes here as well, tons. But then we just had every sort of metal that we have smelted. All of our dust that came from the quarry processing. Tons and tons of dust. Over here, more dust. All the way down, we had a cobble filler. Diamonds. We got 10 diamonds in our hand, too, from our Twilight Forest visit. Quartz, there's our Thaumcraft crystals and all the other goodies, including 4 uridium, guys. Never did anything with it. It's a shame, I know. But yeah, this was sort of the what was going to be the beginning of the redesign of our base. I loved this build, the way it looked. The materials I used, everything. I thought it was fantastic. Had a bit of a fetish for circles in Minecraft, so we built it circular, even though it wasn't the most efficient build. But yeah, that's actually going to do it, guys. That's the build. The only other thing that we have is a path of torches over here. Right here. Here they are. These path of torches go over to what was going to be a rail line I was going to run over to a small base area where I was doing some tree stuff with bees. You can see we've got some different colored leaves here. Tree breeding. There it is. But again, something else that I didn't quite finish. But that's going to do it, guys. Probably going to be closing the chapter on this world. Like I said, I'm leaning towards a fresh start. I think it would be more fun. This is dangerous with the lag to try and fight mobs. So I'm just going to go ahead and fly up into the night. I want your guys' comments. Actually, you know what? Real quick. The rooftop, if you guys saw last episode, used to be a Thaumcraft setup. I converted it over to our portal to the Twilight Forest. So there you go. That wraps it all up for us, guys. We're going to call that ends to the episode. Maybe this map, I want your guys' feedback on what you think I should do. If I should continue this map and world, or if I should just go ahead, make this the end of Season 1, start Season 2 on a fresh map. Like I said, throw it in the comments or shoot me a tweet on Twitter, Scrotitus Plays, Scrotitus Plays at twitter.com or twitter.com/Scrotitus Plays. However Twitter works, I don't know. I'm still figuring that out, but I got a Twitter account. So that's going to do it for this series, I believe, unless you guys really want to see me keep going. Like I said, feedback welcome. I want to thank you guys for all the support that you've given me. Hope you guys enjoyed the world, all the builds, all the fun we've had. This has been Scrotitus Plays. Feed the Beast. We'll see you in the next episode. We're not going away. We'll see you.